and cabinet doors. Join the generations of sportsmen that trust Amish wood milk for their wood. Call now and get your bottle of Dutch Glow for just $10. We'll also include a second bottle of Dutch Glow with our special wood floor nozzle. Just pay separate shipping and processing. But if you call right now, we'll even include our jumbo microfiber polishing cloth absolutely free. You get it all. A huge value. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-779-7001 and get 2 bottles of Dutch Glow for just $10 plus shipping and processing. That's 1-800-779-7001 or go to DutchGlow.com right now.
So, you're saying you'll give me my credit score for free? Right. Now you're going to ask for my credit card so you can charge me on the down low 2 weeks later. Look, Credit Karma.
Are you talking to websites again?
This website says free credit scores.
Oh, Credit Karma. Yeah, it's really free. Look, you don't even have to put in your credit card information.
What?
Credit Karma. Really free credit scores. Really free.
Credit Karma, I love you.
It brings generations of Americans together, connecting us to our community as no other tradition can. When the stadium lights go on, Main Street shuts down. It's more than high school football. Your team, your town, your forecast. 12 towns in 12 weeks. It's time for Friday Night Lightning.
All right, as we continue our 12 towns, 12 weeks tour this season, we travel to Lincolnton, Georgia, home of the Lincolnton County Red Devils.
Well, I guess there's not that much to do in this small town, so this time of year, Fridays are all about high school football. The Red Devils have an impressive winning record, thanks to the fans, the players, and their coaches.
Blink and you might miss it as you pass through the 3 traffic lights in Lincolnton, Georgia. It's a town of only 1,500, but it's home to one of the most successful high school football programs in the nation, the Lincoln County Red Devils.
As a kid, that's all I wanted to do was play for the Lincoln Red Devils. That was my dream.
You don't grow up immediately to be a fireman or a policeman. You grow up to be a football player.
Lincoln Leroy is a 3rd-generation Red Devil. Both his dad, Jason, and his granddad, Lamar, have each won 2 state championships, with hope that Lincoln can win one too. Generations tend to stick around in Lincoln County, and so do the coaches. The Red Devils have only had 4 coaches in the last 50 years, and for 44 of those, it's been Larry Campbell, the winningest coach in the history of Georgia high school football.
That LC stands for Loving Christ, Lincoln County, and Larry Campbell. So it don't get no better than that on Friday night.
A lot of these little kids, I've seen them grow up. That's what they wanted to be all their life, is to play up under these lights and to play for that man. He's meant so much to this county.
As head coach, Campbell has led the Red Devils to 477 victories and holds 11 state championships and 33 regional crowns. They've put 7 players in the NFL, including running back Garrison Hurst.
Run, Jackson, run! A lot of these kids don't have a male figure in their home, and these coaches are male figures to them and role models to them, whether black or white, it doesn't matter.
I mean, Coach is like a father to me. When my mama passed away, he was the first one to call.
Vern Wilson was a kicker for the Red Devils in the 80s. He has stayed connected to the team ever since.
We got married out here on the field. I had about 450 people here. I couldn't do it in a church. I mean, this is home to me.
My wife will show me an email every once in a while now from a former player that says, "You were my dad. Coach, you were actually more than a football coach to me. Whether you were cussing me or praising me, I knew you were loving me." And but those are the sort of things that in the very end that means so much.
Last spring, Coach Campbell decided it was time to hand off the legacy of the Red Devils to a new coach, his longtime defensive coordinator, Kevin Banks.
Come on, dude!
No matter the head coach, it's the tradition that carries on. He's doing a fantastic job of keeping that tradition going and getting Lincoln County football staying on the map.
It's something to be proud of. When you put that jersey on, you know what you represent. You represent a lot of history here.
I wouldn't give it up for the world. If you are a football coach, you are in football heaven.
this is it.
Lots and lots of fun. You know what? The Red Devils crushed the McCormick Chiefs 49-8 during their season opener just last week.
And tonight they'll play their big rival, Washington Wilkes, on their home turf at Buddy Buford Field. And we wore their colors. We didn't plan this.
We sure did. You know what? And look at the forecast. Very appropriate for the Red Devils. Of course, 89 degrees and lots of sunshine. So it will be hot on the home turf.
Painter, and Scotch Blue is my tape.
I'm a painter, and Scotch Blue is my tape.
Pro painters count on Scotch Blue. Now with advanced Edge-Lock paint line protector for even sharper paint lines.
I am a painter, and Scotch Blue is my tape.
Scotch Blue Painter Stamp.
For over a decade, doctors have been prescribing Nexium to patients just like you. For many, prescription Nexium helps heal acid-related erosions in the lining of the esophagus. There is risk of bone fracture and low magnesium levels. Side effects may include headache, abdominal pain, and diarrhea. If you have persistent diarrhea, contact your doctor right away. Other serious stomach conditions may exist. Avoid if you take clopidogrel. Nexium 40 milligram is only available by prescription. Talk to your doctor. For free home delivery, enroll in Nexium Direct today.
Starting August 31st, the Weather Channel brings you a full week all about surviving the worst. Oh my God! Survival Week on the Weather Channel, starting August 31st.
Find some sunshine and share your weather with everyone. Download the new app from the Weather Channel today.
Currently in our area, 88 degrees under cloudy skies. Today, thunderstorms, high 89. Chance of rain, 80%. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 80. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And can't sleep an ounce, unwind with Tide Downy and Bounce. The Sweet Dreams collection is so relaxing, so you can tuck in and turn off after a day oh so taxing. Tide Downy and Bounce, official products of the National Sleep Foundation.
Check it.
I'll be back.
When you need more traction, Pep Boys Tires Made Easy process matches your vehicle with the tire that's just right for you. Trust the boys to get you there.
Geico's been helping people save money for over 75 years. They've really stood the test of time, much like these majestic Rocky Mountains, which must be named after the rock.
That would be Rocky the Flying Squirrel, Mr. Gecko, sir. Obviously.
Come on, Bullwinkle. They're named after...
First President George Rockington.
That doesn't even make any sense, Mr. Winkle.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Is your child happy in school? Is the pace too fast or too slow? Does your child need a more advanced or individualized approach? You do have another choice. Online learning from K-12, a full-time alternative to the traditional classroom, available free as a public school option. Call now for your free information kit to learn more. K-12 has an award-winning curriculum that parents and teachers enthusiastically endorse.
I made a switch to online learning because I saw a blossoming of kids' excitement for education.
Our state-certified teachers customize lesson plans and guide learning. Kids work at the level that's just right for them, without classroom distractions, and books and supplies are included.
The ability to have the online school and still be part of a public school system is priceless.
94%.
If you sign up for DirecTV's latest deal, prepare to be blindsided. Because they'll double your rate before you know it. And you'll find you're locked into a 2-year contract that could cost you over $3,000 bucks. That's why the smart choice is Xfinity. You can see all the best action in football all season long, with no surprises. Don't get blindsided by DirecTV. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
It's on. The games are on. The coverage is on. The action is on the all-new SEC Network. And it's all on Xfinity, where you get the most live college football, including the Pac-12 networks, the Big Ten Network, and ESPN Goal Line. Plus, with X1 and the Sports app, you can experience it all like never before. Enjoy the all-new SEC Network on TV and on the go with Watch ESPN. You can't get all that with DirecTV, but you can on Xfinity, your home for the most live sports.
With the Better Business Bureau. Again, call Quicken Loans today or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Weather Geeks, Sundays at noon on the Weather Channel.
Well, it is time now for the Tropical Update. There's a lot of activity out there, and it's still causing high surf and dangerous conditions on both the east and west coast.
Absolutely. Well, Carl Parker is in the lab. Carl, what else are you watching today?
Well, as you mentioned, there is a lingering risk be ending going into this holiday weekend. That storm is now racing out into the North Atlantic. It's an extra tropical low. It's taken on non-tropical characteristics. Going to bring some wind and rain to Iceland next couple of days. Let's take a look at the Atlantic Basin overall. And here you see the next area to watch in the Caribbean, and then another one way out in the Atlantic just off the coast of Africa. We'll begin with the one that's closer to home. This is now being given a 20 associated with this tropical wave south of Hispaniola, but there's also an area, a big collection of thunderstorms now just north of Panama. That's along an area where winds converge and spin. It's a pre-existing area of spin, and so thunderstorms have developed along with that, and these two areas may actually come together, and something may develop in the western Caribbean, make its way into the Yucatan, and then come out into the southern part of the Gulf of Mexico. Now, right now, the models are telling us that it's probably not going to be that strong, but that is an area where things can spin up very quickly. So we certainly need to keep our eyes on that. That would be towards Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. Now, this feature that's on the coast of Africa, not being given a very high chance of developing. There's really not much to it right now, not a lot in the way of thunderstorms. Here's a look at the spin in the low levels of the atmosphere, and we see a little area of spin developing from that, possibly getting towards the islands by the end of next week. So that certainly does bear watching. And then finally, here's the last 2 days of satellite of Marie, and you notice how the thunderstorms really died off as it got over cold water. These systems derive their energy from the warm and humid air that sits over very warm ocean water, and now that it's gotten into that colder water, it really has fizzled, but it's still producing some higher wave action, wave heights up to about 5 and 6 feet in parts of Southern California, and so that rip current threat continues, still very high there on those south-facing beaches in Southern California. Bonnie, Viv, back to you.
Thanks, Carl. Well, it's amazing out there, as we say all the time, but right now we want to show you some amazing weather pictures you've shared with us.
That's right. It is time for our top 5 photos highlighting some of the best images and biggest weather stories of the week. Number 5, a funnel cloud touched down briefly near Mayfield, South Dakota. Now, a train spotter did confirm that it was on the ground for a short time. No reports of damage.
Number 4, this has been one of our biggest stories this week. Huge crashing waves off California's coast caused by Hurricane Marie. This was shot in Laguna Beach.
And number 3, they may not be ready to open the ski slopes just yet, but maybe they could. As you can see in the Aspen, Colorado area, a little bit of light snow in the area, even covering up the wildflowers.
Wow. Well, lightning over a gabled roof in Littleton, Colorado. The streak captured by photographer Darren White.
And number 1, check out this. This is one of the first ever photos taken of a tornado. This was shot 130 years ago near the town of Howard, South Dakota. Actually, the Dakota Territory at that time. It was part of an outbreak that killed 6 people, though. The picture comes to us from NOAA's photo library, and they note that it was probably doctored just a little bit, but wow, that's quite impressive.
Yeah, it's a piece of history there.
All right. Remember, you can send us your photos, your videos, anytime by going to weather.com/photos.
You can also upload them to the Weather Channel app.
All right. Now, you know, we're kicking off your holiday weekend forecast. The weekend is coming up. And, of course, we will have everything you need to know to make your plans outdoors.
That's right. And some of that travel will mean you might run into a storm or some rain. We'll show you where the threat is today, tomorrow, and ahead for the entire holiday weekend.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees with a heavy thunderstorm. Today, thunderstorms, high 89. Chance of rain, 80%. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 80. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This week's tropical troubles are on the outs, but the lingering effects millions of beachgoers could be feeling, of course, this holiday weekend. Plus, we are nearing the peak of the hurricane season. We'll check in to see if there are any other upcoming threats.
For those away from the coast, a significant severe threat could dampen your Labor Day plans, where scattered storms will drench millions, and the places that can't rule out the possibility of a tornado. Plus,
it's game day in America. It's time for Friday Night Lightning on the Weather Channel. You guys ready? Yeah!
All right, one town, one team, and one coach with a big dream. It's Friday night, and in Lincolnton, Georgia, these guys are heroes. Why? We'll tell you next on Weather Center Live.
Are still in effect.
That's right. Laguna Beach in California, you're still feeling the impacts from Marie. And on the East Coast,
Surf, more dangers are lurking beneath the water. I'm talking about strong rip currents. So if you're heading to the beach today, keep an eye out for red flag warnings.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us for Weather Center Live. I'm Vivian Brown.
And I'm Bonnie Schneider. An active week tracking the tropics, and it's not over yet.
Oh, yeah. We've been tracking 2 systems, one in the Pacific, one in the Atlantic, and we also had that disturbance, of course, in the Gulf, bringing heavy rain to Texas.
Hurricane specialist Carl Parker has been monitoring everything in our brand new state-of-the-art expert lab. And Carl, we want to begin in southern Texas, where rain is around Galveston right now. Will this tropical low bring rain to the area all weekend long?
Well, you know, it is going to linger. It's not moving very much, but it's also not very strong. And we've got tropical moisture coming in next couple of days, so we'll see more rain along the Gulf Coast, and there could be pockets of very heavy rain, but generally things are going to be improving in a few days. Now, I want to show you what's going on with Cristobal. That system is now moving out. We just got the new advisory from the National Hurricane Center, and it's now being called a post-tropical cyclone, so it's already starting to take on non-tropical characteristics. Warmer, more humid air coming up on the east side there, and then you've got cooler, drier air wrapping in on the underside of that circulation. Tropical system, in contrast, has warm and humid air all the way around it. And so it's rapidly becoming a different type of storm, but it's still packing a punch. It's still got very strong wind, and we think it will continue to as it moves off to the north into the west and makes its way towards Iceland over the weekend. And in fact, there's expected to be a pretty good bit of wind and rain there with what is left of that storm. Now, when you have a rip current threat, oftentimes it lingers well past the storm, and that's exactly what we've got. There is a moderate rip current threat down from high yesterday in the mid-Atlantic region, the Outer Banks, up into Maryland, Virginia, Jersey Shore, and also southern New England, and will likely continue at least into the early part of the weekend for New England. Now, here's the Gulf of Mexico. There's what is left of that low that has moved onshore, still producing a lot of rain there, and largely unpopulated areas along the Texas Gulf Coast between Corpus Christi and Brownsville. Also a big surge of moisture coming into the northern Gulf Coast. And there are two other areas that we need to watch in the coming days. One on the coast of Africa, another one in the central part of the Caribbean, that now being given a 20% chance of developing in the next 5 days. There are actually a couple of components here. One is a tropical wave, some thunderstorms associated with that. Another is something called the monsoon trough. It's an area where winds converge, and it's sort of a pre-existing area of spin. And we think that both of these areas are essentially going to come together over the next couple of days here. And what we're looking at here is the total amount of moisture in the atmosphere. And watch as this big packet of tropical moisture moves up into the southern Gulf early part of next week, and that is a favored area for development, Vivian. So we could be talking about another tropical system there in the Gulf going into Monday, Tuesday next week.
All right, thanks very much, Carl. Of course, we'll be checking in with you all hour. Right now, let's send it over to Bonnie to check out the Labor Day weekend across the West.
Thanks, Vivian. You know, Marie moved out just in time. We're going to go to Los Angeles, and it's shaping up to be a beautiful day. Are you planning to take your lunch outside? I think you'll have no problem. The weather looks really nice there. It's currently 78 degrees in downtown Los Angeles, so we're looking at nice conditions. I hope you enjoy it out there. But what about the rest of the weekend? We've got to keep a close watch on things because we've got 3 days off and everybody wants to get out and do something. Well, Labor Day weekend in Los Angeles looks good. It gets a little warmer to start and then gets down to 82 on the holiday itself. Now, as you can see, we also track the weather across much of the West, and Seattle is looking at the potential for wet weather for Sunday and Monday. San Francisco looks great, a little breezy for tomorrow, but nice. And then Monday, everybody's enjoying some nice weather. Of course, Montana, not so much. We do have rain in the forecast there with temperatures into the 70s. If you're heading to the county fair, that's always a fun thing to do. Well, in Pomona, it's further inland away from the coast. The temperatures really heat up there. It'll be hot, but just dress appropriately and you can enjoy it. Highs will be into the 70s, for lows will be into the 70s, and highs will be into the upper 90s. That's a look at the West Coast. The weekend is not looking so good in other places. Vivian has more on that.
That's right, Bonnie. Atlanta, you're looking good for now, but changes are on the way. Pop-up storms and showers this weekend. But again, you can see a little blue sky there, and we have traffic going in and out, and both moving fairly swiftly. So some folks heading out of town for the weekend, but a lot of folks coming in because we have quite a few activities going on this weekend, of course, in the Atlanta area. More Labor Day forecasts on the way for you. The next stop, actually, New York. Here's a live look at New York City. We'll have your forecast, of course, as we head into the weekend. As you can see right now, we have great conditions for Atlanta, but as we look at the forecast, the chance of thunder showers tomorrow and even on Sunday. Monday, we're looking at the chance of storms with temperatures in the low 90s. 90s. So temperatures will remain pretty consistent, but everywhere you see the green here, that's where there is the chance of some scattered showers. And you can see on Sunday and right on through Monday, looking for that chance. The Atlanta Motor Speedway, of course, on Saturday, we're looking at 150,000 people that will be at this event, the Oral-B USA 500. And again, the chance of a thunder shower on Sunday as we look at the afternoon hours. Now, more Labor Day forecasts on the way. Next stop is New York City. We have a live look at the city, and we'll have your forecast for the Northeast. That's coming up next right after the break. And then we'll move to the Midwest, where they're getting some heavy rain and flooding now. A severe weather threat later this weekend. We'll show you exactly what to expect. And if you're traveling today, here's a look at some trouble spots you may face.
Hey, I noticed your car's not in the driveway.
Yeah, it's in the shop. It's gonna cost me an arm and a leg.
Should have taken it to Midas. Tell you what stuff needs fixing and what stuff can wait. High five.
Brakes, tires, oil, everything.
Want proof that Pantene makes your hair healthier all the way to the end? Put Pantene to the test. Watch. When hair loses protein, it splits and fails the needle test. But with Pantene, the Advanced Pro V formula helps prevent protein loss and stop split ends before they start. So your hair passes the test with ease. Put Pantene to the test. For hair so healthy, you shine.
Hershey's Miniatures. Choosing is half the fun. Because there's a little something delicious for everyone. Hershey's Miniatures. Choose your own delicious.
Thursday night, back to football. 1, 2, 3. The celebration kicks off in Seattle with a performance by the newest coach on The Voice, Pharrell Williams. Followed by the Super Bowl champion Seahawks taking on the Packers. Then Sunday night is football night when the Colts take on the Broncos. The season begins Thursday night on NBC.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees with a heavy thunderstorm. Today, thunderstorms, high 89, chance of rain 80%. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 80, winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Sunday night, the Weather Channel asks, so you think you'd survive a hailstorm? So you think you'd survive Sunday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
When I had my first migraine, I was lucky. That sounds crazy, I know, but my mom got migraines, so she knew this would help. Excedrin Migraine starts to relieve my pain in 30 minutes, plus sensitivity to light, sound, even nausea. Excedrin Migraine works.
Makers of Excedrin Migraine, #1 neurologist recommended.
Don't wait for awesome. Totino's Pizza Rolls get you there in just 60 seconds.
Ellen?
What?
I just got an email about a sale on flights to Paris, but it's about to end.
Oh.
I can't find her notepad with passwords on it.
Maybe the den.
My bedside table?
I'll check.
Never mind. Sale's over.
Meet Dashlane, the solution to your password problems. Access your passwords everywhere and automatically log into every site, all with ironclad security. Trusted by millions. Go to Dashlane.com and get it for free today.
Claritin D presents 2 allergy sufferers. One tried Nasacort, which could take up to a week to feel maximum nasal symptom relief. The other took Claritin D, which starts to work on allergies in 30 minutes. The moral, nothing works faster than Claritin D.
Not a pretty morning in Madison, Wisconsin, and you may be waking up to a few more mornings like this, unfortunately. Storms are rolling through the Midwest, and they're bringing heavy rain and flash flooding. In the meantime, take a look at this. Now, you may have thought your commute was rough this morning, but when you compare yours to this, you won't complain anymore, right? It was just super rough. Look at all the flooding in the area. It was very difficult to get from point A to point B, certainly. Not good travel conditions in this area, because when you see that the water is covering the road, you just want to turn around. Don't even continue on that route. Heavy rain across the upper Midwest. That is the big weather story. That's what we've seen already. Look at the rainfall totals over the last 24 hours. The more vivid colors indicating anywhere from 5 to almost 8 inches of rain here in western Iowa, the eastern parts of Nebraska. Very heavy rain, again, just within 24 hours. And these areas will be targeted again today. Mainly the areas between these two fronts could find severe storms, but already just to the north of the front. So we have this line of storms pushing right north of the suburbs here in the Minneapolis area with some of the embedded stronger storms. And then as we take you down into eastern Nebraska, the western parts of Iowa, again picking up some heavy rain in those spots that have already had those flooding issues. And you can see here over the western parts of Missouri too, we're talking about some of the rain. And again, this is a different perspective of those two areas in between. So today, this is a region that we'll watch for the scattered showers and storms. Bonnie?
Thanks, Viv. Well, the holiday weekend definitely could get dicey for millions of people because a significant severe threat is setting up across the Midwest. Tornadoes are possible for some, but check out what blew through South Dakota yesterday. You'll see a funnel cloud. This is in Mayfield, South Dakota, and you can see that in the distance there, almost a little ominous of what could be ahead for some people for the holiday weekend. You know, it is Labor Day, and with all the severe weather, we could see plans that could really disrupt parts of the Ohio Valley. Let's talk a little bit right now about the holiday weekend and the severe threat we're facing here. So we have the upper level disturbance that's moving through the northern plains, tapping into the moist air that's coming up from the south, low level jet. These strong winds could definitely trigger, unfortunately, some very dangerous storms on Sunday. That looks like the worst of it. So as we move ahead, you'll see the severe threat includes cities like Minneapolis, into Sioux Falls, Lincoln, Nebraska. Nebraska got hit just a couple weeks ago. It seems like you're getting the same thing again on Sunday. So we are looking at that severe threat, not just for Sunday, but also keep in mind Iowa could also be at risk because our Torcon is at level 4. Now, we are watching a lot of areas, unfortunately, you know, for the threat of severe weather. One of them is Minneapolis, and that's where we could see some strong storms, possibly on Sunday night. Vivian, there's a lot going on this weekend, not just Labor Day celebrations.
Oh, yeah, we have a lot of activities. Let's take you just outside of the Cleveland area, and we do have a big event going on. We talk about the Oktoberfest in the region. Very nice conditions. Even right now in Cleveland, we have temperatures in the upper 60s, low 70s. Clouds trying to increase in the area, but as we look at the forecast, we are anticipating some storms on Saturday late in the day. But for most of the day on Saturday for the Oktoberfest, the weather looks pretty good, albeit just a little on the warm side with temperatures in the upper 80s. Well, that's a look at parts of the Midwest, Cleveland in particular. Let's take you into the Northeast, and we go to New York City. That's where we have a live look now behind me, and you can see we do have some pretty decent conditions in the area. Here's a look at your Labor Day forecast now for the entire Northeast, including the big city. The chance of storms on Sunday, and that could very well linger into Monday with temperatures in the mid-80s. So keep it tuned right here. We'll keep you updated with the latest weather conditions for the weekend.
Get 10 to 30% off major appliances $3.99 or more, plus 18 months special financing at Lowe's.
It's time for me to be practical.
You know, to have a better plan.
It's time to have a serious talk about the future.
Every day, conversations like these are happening in families everywhere.
You know, until now, I haven't been able to qualify for life insurance.
I've been inquieto about what would happen
if something happened to me.
Life insurance may not be an easy topic to discuss, but now it can be a simple thing to address.
I just found a policy from MetLife
that's going to give us the protection we need.
And the peace of mind I want.
At a price I can afford.
It's called Final Expense Whole Life Insurance.
And it's just what I need.
With Final Expense Whole Life Insurance, your acceptance is guaranteed.
Even at my age.
Even with our budget constraints.
Even with my medical history, I was able to get coverage.
Applying for Final Expense Whole Life Insurance is easy. Policies range from $2,500 to $20,000, and premiums start at $10 per month.
There were no medical questions.
No medical exams.
We made just one phone call, and just like that, we were covered.
Final Expense Whole Life Insurance is available to anyone age 45 to 75. The tax-free benefits are paid quickly and directly to your beneficiary.
You know, when the time comes, there will be expenses.
Things like medical bills, credit card debt, and funeral costs.
Things that can add up.
I don't want you to be burdened with those costs.
This policy will help cover them.
Call MetLife today to see how easy it can be to get life insurance. If you haven't been able to get coverage before, Final Expense Whole Life Insurance could be what you've been looking for.
It feels so good to be covered.
And even better, to be covered by a company I trust.
With a name that's been around for a long time. MetLife.
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 Call MetLife at 1-877-213-2531 to learn more. That's 1-877-213-2531. 1-877-213-2531.
My husband worked at a power plant where the asbestos fell like snow.
My dad got mesothelioma from asbestos.
Oh, the diagnosis was devastating.
We chose Cooney and Conway because they're highly experienced in this area.
They were more than lawyers. They were human beings.
There was no money up front.
It showed my sons that there is justice in the world.
Call 1-800-322-5573. Cooney and Conway. Justice with a passion.
Ever since I was elected, I haven't stopped moving. I led a push with Democrats and Republicans to protect retirement benefits for our veterans and held the VA accountable for excessive wait times. I sponsored a law to ensure women are given equal pay for equal work. I fought to secure $38 million to clean up our lagoon, protecting it for future generations. I'm Patrick Murphy, and I approve this message because I'm always working for you.
The shipping and even pay the return postage. Try NoNo risk-free today.
Starting Sunday, the Weather Channel brings you a full week all about surviving the worst. Survival Week on the Weather Channel, starting Sunday.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, thunderstorms, high 89. Chance of rain, 80%. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 80. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, this year's headlines have been filled with disastrous weather situations, everything from intense flooding to raging wildfires to deadly rip currents.
Would you know what to do if you were caught in the worst weather imaginable? Starting on Sunday, we kick off Survival Week on the Weather Channel, where we'll show you what it takes to survive Mother Nature's worst.
Right. Well, it is now 20 minutes past the hour. That means it's time for the Tropical Update.
Hurricane specialist Carl Parker is in the lab. And Carl, there's a couple of areas of interest in the Atlantic. What's going on?
Couple of things that we are now watching. One of them in the Caribbean, the other one way over on the other side of the Atlantic, just along the coast of Africa. And we're going to begin with Cristobal, which is now an extratropical cyclone. It's taken on non-tropical characteristics, moving very quickly, 44 miles per hour, and generally is on the way to Iceland, where it's likely going to produce some wind and rain in a couple of days. So here's a look at the tropics overall, and there's an area to watch in the Caribbean. Then here's the one that is along the African coast. We're going to focus in on this one in the Caribbean. Couple of pieces. One is a tropical wave, and there's some storms associated with that right there. Then another collection of storms associated with converging winds just off the coast of Central America. Both of those areas coming together potentially to produce some development in the southern part of the Gulf of Mexico, and that's going to be into the early part of next week. So that's the next thing that we're going to watch for. Some of the models taking a little something into northeast Mexico, but we could get some impacts in Texas. And then here is post-tropical cyclone Marie, now a 40-mile-per-hour storm, or what is left of it, producing a little bit of wind. The stronger waves certainly have come way down, or the higher waves, I should say, have come way down. The stronger winds have certainly come down. And so the wave heights here in Southern California are now down considerably as compared to what we were looking at a couple of days ago. They're still up to about 5 feet Oceanside and also in Malibu, and there is a lingering rip current threat there in Southern California, but not nearly as bad as it once was. And let's talk about that rip current threat. It extends all along the beaches there in Southern California, San Diego County, up into LA County and into Ventura County as well. So please do be very careful if you head out to the beaches anytime soon. Bonnie, over to you.
That's great advice, Carl. You know, one of the biggest summer's celestial events is coming up right now this weekend, and you should be able to see it all with the naked eye. Kelly Beatty from Sky and Telescope magazine gives us a preview.
You know, summer's just about over, and I think we should end it with a celestial bang of sorts. Go out on the evening of Sunday, August 31st, and look up in the sky about, 30 or 40 minutes after sunset. You'll see a fat crescent moon there. To its left will be the planet Mars, and to its right will be the planet Saturn. Now, the moon is moving with respect to those planets. Earlier that afternoon, about 2 p.m. Eastern Time, if you've got a telescope, track down the moon in the sky, and you'll see Saturn perched at the very tip of that big fat crescent. It should be terrific to see. In any case, go out and look at this if you can, just with your eye. You don't need any equipment. It's kind of the last hurrah for the moon, Mars, and Saturn, at least for this summer.
You got to get in that last hurrah, even in the sky, right? Well, if you want to catch this amazing sky event, here's a look at the conditions where you can really see things the most clearly. Now, across the country, we are running that risk on Sunday into Monday of thunderstorms in the Midwest and the northern plains. But on the West Coast, it looks beautiful, nice and clear. We're looking at some nice conditions there. We do run the risk also of storms on Sunday night in the Northeast for New York and Atlanta in the South and Florida. So if you're on the West Coast, I think that's going to be the best place to really get a good view of the amazing sky out there. Well, Vivian, how's it looking so far for this holiday weekend?
Well, you know, it is the Labor Day holiday weekend, so do you have any outdoor plans? We will help you fine-tune those plans for the forecast coming up. Meanwhile, Hurricane Katrina, you remember that one, don't you? I know you do. Destroyed a number of homes and businesses, but one Biloxi, Mississippi resident and his restaurant survived. How? They are still standing strong just 9 years after the storm. Meanwhile, if you're traveling today, of course, trying to get out of town or trying to go to your holiday destination, here's what you can expect. Maybe some delays in Minneapolis with scattered showers and storms around. The same in Chicago and Dallas. Now, San Francisco, a little bit of morning fog, but will give way to sunshine as we progress deeper into the afternoon hours. As mentioned, around Minneapolis, those scattered showers. So if you're on the road, then just please pack your patience. Just allow a little extra driving time so you can go slower than the highway speeds.
Heartburn. Did someone say burn? Try Alka-Seltzer Relief Chews. They work just as fast and are proven to taste better than Tums Smoothies assorted fruit.
Amazing.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews. Enjoy the relief.
Hi there. Hi, Flo.
I know. I'm gonna get you to your rental car.
This is so ridiculous.
We're gonna manage your entire repair process from paperwork to pickup. Okay, little tiny baby? Your car's ready and your repairs are guaranteed for as long as you own it.
The Progressive Service Center, a real place where we really manage your claim from start to finish. Really.
Easy as easy can be. Bye.
Check.
Energizer protects your devices from damaging leaks.
They keep us busy.
Duck fishing.
They keep us entertained. They keep us inspired. They keep us hopeful and happy. Keep them safe. The 8-passenger Chevrolet Traverse with the highest possible overall vehicle score for safety. Chevrolet, find new roads.
Let's try on a new coat, one that covers better, lasts longer, and protects us from the elements, inside and out. Let's go to the place with the best paint. Take it home for less. Then rock and roll. Let's do the one thing that changes everything. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Save on select Glidden paint. $10 off cans and $40 off buckets.
Are you a man over 40 and feeling tired, losing muscle, have less romantic drive? Every man who calls in the next few minutes will receive a free 30-day supply of Ageless Male. Ageless Male has ingredients clinically shown to increase free testosterone levels, and that supports muscle health, promotes romantic drive, supports energy metabolism. Ageless Male is now available at these fine retailers, but your free 30-day supply is only available through this exclusive TV offer.
Find some sunshine and share your weather with everyone. Download the new app from the Weather Channel today.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, thunderstorms, high 89, chance of rain 80%. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 80, winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Weather Geeks, Sundays at noon on the Weather Channel.
All right, we're looking live in the D.C. area, as you know. It is beautiful right now. We have only 80 degrees, and look at that beautiful, unblemished blue sky. It's a little breezy. That's perhaps the only caveat. You can see one flag flying anyway. The other seems to be not moving at all, so the winds are variable in the area. And here's a look at the forecast for the weekend. The first half looking great, but unfortunately by late Sunday we look for the chance of storms. In fact, on Sunday we have the concert, the Labor Day Capitol Concert. And again, there is a chance of thunder showers, unfortunately. Stay with us. Weather Center Live continues right now. back to Weather Center Live. I'm Vivian Brown.
And I'm Bonnie Schneider. The big story all week has been the tropics.
Yes, we've been talking about it from coast to coast. We've had big surf, epic waves, and dangerous rip currents. Hurricane specialist Carl Parker is in the lab tracking the activity as we head into this holiday weekend. Carl?
Viv, we're going to begin with Cristobal, which is now moving out very rapidly, about 44 miles per hour, off towards the North Atlantic and towards Iceland. It is now a post-tropical cyclone, which means that it has taken on non-tropical characteristics, and at this point will be a windstorm, essentially, moving out into the North Atlantic. So here's the latest from the Hurricane Center. As of 11 a.m., 75-mile-per-hour winds, again, taking on some non-tropical characteristics. And I want to show you the larger satellite picture, show you where Iceland is, and that is basically where this thing is headed. And again, it's going to produce some wind and some rain there probably in a couple of days. But there is a lingering rip current threat. That's a moderate threat from the Outer Banks up through Ocean City and the Jersey Shore and into southeastern New England. And we may have some additional issues in New England even early on tomorrow. Down into the Gulf of Mexico, here's a look at the radar picture, and this is the feature that we had been watching in the western Gulf, still producing rain in largely unpopulated areas of the coast there from Corpus Christi and on southward. Also a little tropical surge of moisture driving into the northern Gulf Coast. And this is a look at the loop over the last 48 hours, and you can see how this little circulation slowly drove into the coast there. And also you see that big wave that came up, but neither of these features are expected to develop. So we'll turn our attention to this little system that's now in the central part of the Caribbean, being given now a 20% chance of developing in the next 5 days. There are actually a couple of areas of storms, one associated with the tropical wave right there, another one associated with converging winds to the north of Panama, and both of these likely to get together. And what we've got here is a look at the total amount of moisture in the atmosphere. So right in there, there's a lot of moisture associated with that tropical wave that's going to drive up and into the southern part of the Gulf of Mexico into the early part of next week. Now, this is an area where storms can pop up very quickly, and the models do indicate that there may be some development that makes its way into northeast Mexico or possibly even parts of South Texas by the middle of next week. So that's something we need to watch very, very carefully. And one more thing to show you is what is left of Marie, just a little puff of cloud right now. Those thunderstorms have really died off now that that circulation is over much, much cooler water. But there are still some elevated wave heights now up to about 5 feet along the beaches there in Southern California. And there is a rip current threat that is ongoing up and down the coast in Southern California. Bonnie, back to you.
Thanks, Carl. And here's a live look of what that system in the Gulf is causing. You're looking at South Padre Island, Texas. It's a great place to spend the weekend, but the rain is kind of hindering things right now. It should clear out, though, and we'll get some better weather for the weekend. Let's go to another part of the Texas coast, Galveston, Texas. Oh, those clouds don't look so great, and you can see the white caps on the water there. You know, we are looking at rain mostly today. It's unfortunately going to be tough if you're traveling today, but I think, again, the weather should get a little bit better at times as we get closer to the holiday weekend. What about other parts of the state? How about Dallas? It's pretty hot there, climbing into the 90s. But, you know, we had about ½ an inch of rain hit the city earlier this morning, but it's cleared out, which is some good news. I think we could still see a thunderstorm, though. The dew points are high, and it's likely we'll get something in the afternoon. All right, let's take a look at what else is going on in terms of your Labor Day weekend forecast. We're definitely looking at the chance for storms in many places, not just Texas, but Louisiana. Lake Charles, some rain is working its way towards your region. We're seeing that right along the coastline. I think New Orleans will also see some wet weather. But for Dallas, Texas, we've got the storms possibly this afternoon and then again tomorrow. But then by Sunday and Monday, it looks better with highs in the 90s. It doesn't really look great on Saturday for other places like Little Rock into Jackson. We are going to see that threat for wet weather and even into Memphis on Sunday. Atlanta, you're looking at storms, and it could get rough on Sunday. Florida as well, as the storm system kind of slides a little eastward, we get a better threat for rain along the coast of South Carolina, Georgia, and across Florida, all along the beaches on the east to west coast. But let's talk college football. We're real excited about this. In Arlington, Texas, the Florida State Seminoles play against the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Now, there's a chance for rain, as I mentioned earlier on, but then by the time we see kickoff, it'll be sunny with hot temperatures into the 90s. So definitely hot out there, but that's okay. The fans will be excited. Doesn't matter.
Oh, absolutely. Football season is here. Thanks very much, Bonnie. Well, you know what? 9 years ago, Katrina flooded New Orleans and crushed the Mississippi Gulf Coast with a record storm surge up to 28 feet. Few buildings were left standing, but one originally built in 1737 withstood the onslaught and continues to be a fixture in the community today. Maria LaRosa has that story.
It's like walking into a bygone era of genteel Southern charm. For over 50 years, Mary Mahoney's restaurant in Biloxi, Mississippi, has been serving locals, celebrities, even presidents, let alone been featured in best-selling novels.
The food is traditionally seafood. I tell everybody that pretty blue water in Florida, I said ain't nothing in it but seaweed. That old muddy water out here, shrimp, crabs, oysters, bukus of fish. You know what the moral of the story is? A lot of loving going on in the mud.
But that mud has invaded the restaurant twice during two of the most devastating hurricanes in U.S. history.
Camille Waterline right here, August 17th, 1969. And then up here we have the Katrina Waterline, August 29th, 2005. I'm standing in this bedroom right here. My brother-in-law tells me to do something wasn't too smart, and I did. Every time a wave comes, it's breaching those windows right there. And so he said, Bob, put a little pressure on them windows because we don't want that water busting through the bed. I said, I'd do that, Charlie. I did that one wave, two wave. I turned my head. I come back, and there's a wave in the window. You know what happens when you have a wave in the wind that's coming through the window? It knocked me back about 15 feet, about like 5 linebackers hit me at one time. We had about 10% structural damage and 100% mess.
After Camille, the restaurant opened in 2 weeks. After Katrina, it took 2 months.
People living in FEMA cottages, they living in tents. And then you could come back to Mary Mahoney's and get a little piece of normalcy, you know, linen tablecloth, linen napkin, good seafood, and things like that.
I love the tagline, a lot of loving going on in the mud. That Mississippi mud, you gotta love it. Back to you, Bonnie.
That's great. Well, you know, we're going to 12 towns in 12 weeks. Next, we'll show you how a small town in Georgia has a huge fighting spirit.
It's game day in America. Time for Friday Night Lightning on the Weather Channel.
And here's a live look in Denver, Colorado, kicking off the holiday weekend. Taste of Colorado's this weekend. Enjoy it.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, scattered thunderstorms. High 89. Chance of rain 50%. Tonight, cloudy intervals. Low 81. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Kevin.
Blah, blah, insurance. Person, come help.
Hey, Grandma. 6 callers ahead of us, Jimmy.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. There to help you get to a better state.
Great. This is the last thing I need.
Seriously? The last thing you need is some guy giving you a new catalytic converter when all you got is a loose gas cap.
What?
It is that simple sometimes.
Thanks.
Now, let's take this puppy over to Midas and get you some of that good old Midas touch. You know what? I'll drive. And I have no feet. I really didn't think this through.
Trust the Midas Touch for brakes, tires, oil, everything.
Want proof that Pantene makes your hair healthier all the way to the end? Put Pantene to the test. Watch. When hair loses protein, it splits and fails the needle test. But with Pantene, the Advanced Pro-V formula helps prevent protein loss and stop split ends before they start. So your hair passes the test with ease. Put Pantene to the test. For hair so healthy, you shine.
Don't let back pain limit your life. I'm Arlene Mandrell, the Mandrell Sisters, and I'd like to share a solution with you.
Get the DDS 500 with no out-of-pocket cost to you with Medicare and other major insurances. The only patented back support that provides adjustable traction. The DDS 500 adjusts to your comfort level and fits discreetly under clothes.
So what are you waiting for? Call Allied Home Medical now. 1-800-230-6099.
Is your back acting up again? Is lower back pain a daily drain? If you're one of the millions who suffer from the agony of lower back pain, you need Be Active, the revolutionary new acupressure system that instantly helps ease discomfort in your lower back, buttocks, and legs. Watch. Just slip on Be Active and tighten the strap. You'll instantly begin experiencing relief. Look, back pain often radiates from the lower back to your lower extremities, but apply Be Active to the trigger point on the calf muscle to instantly relieve pain. The secret is the AcuPoint pressure pad that gently compresses, alleviating pain to the sciatic nerve and lower back for instant relief.
I just slide it on, I tighten the strap, I feel the pressure point right behind my knee, and right away I feel the release of pain in my lower back.
Be Active provides firm pressure behind the knee on the specific pressure point, which can help relieve the pain and suffering from sciatica.
Wow, that's I can feel comfort already.
It's like right away relief.
I just put it on, but I can feel it already easing the pain.
But now I don't feel the pain at all. This is really something. You can't see the relief? I can feel it.
It kind of feels like it's relaxing that muscle.
I definitely wish I found this a couple months ago.
Be Active gives you the ability to instantly be active again. Wear it while exercising. Keep up with the kids. It's invisible under clothing, comfortable enough to sleep in. Be Active easily adjusts to fit any leg.